Hello guys, in today's video I will be talking about Apple's performance. I'll go through some numbers, but to some extent of course, so you don't get bored too much. And needless to say, I prepared for you in-depth detailed analysis so you could therefore decide whether it is worth investing your money in Apple stocks. And if yes, then if it is a good time right now to do it. But remember, this is not a financial advice, I'm just sharing with you stuff that I do on a daily basis for myself, so have that in mind. Okay, with that said, let's begin. Apple is benefiting from further growth in the services segment driven by the App Store, cloud services, music, advertising, and AppleCare. Apple's growth prospects are promising in the near future thanks to the new iPhone that support 5G technology, a refreshed line of iPad and Mac devices, the Apple Watch for healthcare, and the growing App Store ecosystem. A key catalyst is Apple's ability to attract small developers. In addition, Apple devices are becoming more and more popular among enterprises. Apple's focus on protecting user privacy, reflected in the latest iOS 15, iPadOS 15, macOS Monterey, and watchOS 8 updates, changes the rules of the game. However, Apple refrained from providing any guidance due to the uncertainty caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. Moreover, the increasing control and legal problems related to the App Store are negative factors. Apple's business revolves primarily around the flagship iPhone. However, the service portfolio, which includes revenues from cloud services, App Store, Apple Music, AppleCare, Apple Pay, as well as licensing and other services, has now become a cash cow. In addition, non-iPhone devices like the Apple Watch and AirPods have gained considerable traction. In fact, Apple dominates the wearables and hearables market with the growing adoption of Watch and AirPods. The solid adoption of the Apple Watch has also helped Apple strengthen its presence in the health monitoring space. Apple, based in Cupertino, California, also designs, manufactures, and markets the iPad, MacBook, and HomePod. These devices are powered by software applications including the iOS, macOS, watchOS, and tvOS operating systems. Other Apple services include subscription-based Apple News Plus, Apple Card, Apple Arcade, the new Apple TV app, Apple TV channels, Apple TV Plus, a new subscription service. In fiscal 2020, Apple generated $274.52 billion in total revenue. The company's flagship device, the iPhone, accounted for 50.2% of total revenue. The share of the services, Mac, iPad, and other products categories was 19.6, 11.2, 8.6, and 10.4 respectively. Apple shows revenues primarily geographically, namely the Americas, North and South America, Europe, it means European countries, India, Middle East, and Africa, Greater China, which is China, Hong Kong, and Taiwan, Japan, and the rest of the Asia region and the Pacific, the Australia and other Asian countries. In fiscal 2020, the Americas, Europe, China, Japan, and the rest of the Asia-Pacific region accounted for 45.4%, 25%, 14.7%, 7.8%, and 7.1% of total revenue, respectively. Apple has to face a fierce competition from companies such as Samsung, Xiaomi, Oppo, Vivo, Google, Huawei, and Motorola in the smartphone market. Lenovo, HP, Dell, Acer, and Asus are its main competitors in the personal computer market. Other significant competitors are Google and Amazon for smart speakers, and Fitbit and Xiaomi for wearables. Now let's talk about reasons to buy. In fiscal 2021 and beyond, Apple's revenue growth will be driven by wearables, services, and devices. Although Apple's activity is based primarily on the flagship iPhone model, it is the service sector that has become the company's new financial cow. Apple's effort to open up the ecosystem through partnerships with companies such as Samsung and Amazon have a positive impact on the service segment. With a strong base installed in Apple devices, subscription streaming video, news, and gaming services will benefit the service segment. Strong App Store sales coupled with a solid adoption of Apple Pay and Apple Music helped Apple double its service revenue from 2016, 6 months ahead of its scheduled 2020 end date. Moreover, the wearables and hearables business is expected to be driven by solid demand for Apple Watch and AirPods. Apple currently has over 660 million paid subscribers in its service portfolio. The App Store continues to attract the attention of prominent developers around the world, thanks to which the company offers compelling new applications that drive traffic to the App Store. In addition, the growing number of artificial intelligence applications will attract more and more subscribers to the App Store. It is worth noting that over 30,000 are available right now in the App Store. Third-party subscription applications, the largest of which account for only 0.25% of Apple's total service revenue. Apple Pay, which is based on the technology of contactless payment, the NFC, has been expanded to several markets. Apple Pay has made it possible to enter more than 150 stadiums, pitches, arenas, and entertainment venues around the world with contactless tickets. In addition, users could travel by public transport in Shanghai, Beijing, Tokyo, Moscow, London, and New York. Though Apple Watch and iPhone users can also use the dormitories and the services of more universities across the United States, the growing popularity of contactless payments, mainly due to the coronavirus pandemic, bodes well for Apple Pay. In addition, Apple Music has over 60 million paid subscribers. The service offers over 60 million songs, and world-class music experts and tasters create thousands of playlists and daily choices in 115 countries. The availability of Apple Music on Amazon Echo devices is expected to expand the iPhone manufacturer's footprint against Spotify, which is currently the dominant player in the premium paid music streaming market. Apple encourages developers to apply artificial intelligence and machine learning to their applications. The Core ML2 API helps developers recognize faces and animals in photos, as well as the meaning of text. Moreover, the company offers Create ML for simple and effective Mac machine learning training that is built on top of the Swift programming language. Notably, Apple has hired former Google Search and AI chief John Giannandrea to lead its restructured AI division, which includes machine learning, the Siri team, and the Core ML API team. In addition to all of these, acquiring startups like Silk Labs enhances the company's expertise in this field. Apple focuses on autonomous vehicles and augmented and virtual reality technologies, which creates opportunities for growth in the long term. These technologies are quickly becoming lucrative business opportunities. Apple has a strong balance sheet and generates substantial cash flow. These factors make Apple an attractive company for investors. But so that everything is not so colorful, let's now say a few words about the risks. Well, Apple is struggling in the wearables market due to strong competition from Xiaomi, Fitbit, Huawei, and Samsung. The company is also experiencing low sales of HomePod smart speaker due to its late entry into the market, which is currently dominated by Amazon and Google. Apple is struggling with increasing regulatory problems in Europe. The European Commission opens 2 antitrust investigations into Apple App Store and Apple Pay practices amid concerns that the way the company conducts business harms consumers and restricts choices and innovation, and keeping prices high. Interestingly, the music streaming service Spotify has filed a formal complaint against Apple, accusing the iPhone manufacturers unfair practices in order to lower competition. In addition, Fortnite developer Epic Games has filed a lawsuit against Apple because the gaming hit was removed from the App Store. Apple said the game violated its software distribution platform guidelines. In addition, Apple is hit with a record 1.1 billion euro fine by French antitrust regulators for engaging in anti-competitive practices. The company was also ordered to pay a 500 million settlement to deliberately restrict the performance of older iPhone models in order to preserve the battery. Probably everyone heard about that. The Apple was lowering the performance of older iPhones in order to preserve the battery, but what they did, they keep it a secret, and when it was unveiled by someone, it was shown to public that Apple was somehow deceiving their customers. Okay, slowly starting to summarize the entire argument. Apple breaks revenue records. Strong growth in annual terms was driven by strong demand for phones from the iPhone 13 family. Apple cites a recent report from a study by 451 Research, a company which concluded the customer satisfaction in the reported quarter was over 99% for the iPhone 13 family. Another issue is the continuation of dynamics in service. Services continue to develop dynamically in the quarter under review. Apple set a record for the App Store, cloud services, music, video, advertising, and payments. Apple TV Plus, Apple Arcade, Apple News Plus, Apple Card, Apple Fitness Plus, and the Apple One package also contributed to the overall growth. With these new services, more users, content, and features are constantly added. Apple currently has over 660 million paid subscribers on its service offering, an increase of 40 million quarterly and 145 million yearly. Apple continues to expand its service offering with the introduction of Apple Pay in Mexico and South Africa. In addition, the Apple Arcade offer has been expanded with the new exclusive original games and 2 completely new categories: the App Store grades and timeless classics. Also worth mentioning is the increase in sales of iPad and Mac computers thanks to strong demand. Apple's sales of 7.88 billion increased 78.7% compared to the prior year and accounted for 8.7% of total sales. Mac sales of 9.10 billion increased 70.1% compared to the same quarter of the previous year and accounted for 10.2% of total sales. The year-on-year growth was driven by heavy adoption of new M1 equipped Macs. And again, Apple cites a recent 451 research report that found overall consumer satisfaction was 94% for the iPad and 91% for the Mac. Then we move on to the good wearables sales. So, sales of wearables, household appliances and accessories rose 24.7% year-on-year to 7.84 billion, representing 8.7% of total sales. The popularity of the Apple Watch continues to grow rapidly. It's worth noting that over 75% of customers who purchased an Apple Watch during the quarter were first-time customers. Operating data, the gross margin at the end of 2021 increased to 41.8% compared to 38.2% for 2020. It increased thanks to a better revenue structure, cost savings and favorable exchange rate differences. Now for some news. On June 15, Apple announced the availability of an Apple Podcast subscription to listeners in over 170 countries and regions on devices running iOS 14.6, iPad OS 14.6, and macOS 11.4 or later. On June 7, Apple announced a series of software updates to improve privacy and provide developers with better application development tools and technology. The company unveiled iOS 15, iPadOS 15, macOS Monterey, and watchOS 8. Apple introduced iCloud Plus with new premium features including iCloud Private Relay, Hide My Email, and enhanced HomeKit secure video support for its users at no extra charge. For developers, Apple introduced Xcode Cloud, which is a new cloud service for continuous integration and delivery. On June 2nd, Apple announced that its App Store has helped developers generate $643 billion in billing and sales in 2020. In addition, the company said that the number of small developers has increased by 40% from 2015, and they account for 90% of App Store developers. On April 2nd, Apple announced it was expanding its arcade game subscription service by adding more than 30 games and 2 new categories: timeless classics and App Store grades. Overall, the service now includes over 180 games. On March 29, Apple announced that its independent repair provider program will soon be available in over 200 countries. Nearly every country where the company's products are sold. In addition, Apple announced the release of The Year the Earth Changed, the original documentary narrated by David Attenborough, on its Apple TV Plus streaming platform on April 16th. On March 16th, Apple announced it had updated Apple Maps with COVID-19 vaccination location from Vaccine Finder, a free online service developed by Boston Children's Hospital. On March 15th, Apple announced that its Wolf Walkers and Greyhound has received Oscar nomination for Best Animated Picture and Best Sound respectively. On March 8th, Apple announced a multi-year program partnership with women's rights activists and the youngest Nobel laureate Malala Yousafzai. At the end of the year, of course, the new iPhone 13 came out, several new iPads, including the iPad mini and new MacBooks with M1 Pro and M1 Max processors. As I was talking many times on this channel, right now the first half of this year will be uncertain with higher volatility and we have to wait out this period. And at our portfolio, only the biggest, most liquid companies at best from FANG. On top of that, I must admit I didn't expect that there will be so many factors causing the fear among the investors, like tensions between Russia and US about possible military conflict in Ukraine, still huge problems with supply chains and energy crisis. But still the data shows something opposite, that most likely we will get euphoria on the markets in late 2020 and 2023 at least. I will of course be signaling if something changes and we should be getting out of our trades, but for now I think it is a good time to add to our trades when the prices are cheap. And Apple is one of those companies. So now let's go to the chart and see where we are right now. Okay guys, so we are right now at the Apple stock chart and we see this previous rally towards the level of $182. Right now we are at $172. So we see that this rally ended on the beginning of the year. The price made very healthy pullback, very healthy correction of 15%. Right now we managed to, from what I saw, we managed to recover already more than 50%. And the question is if it is too late, or maybe it is the last chance to hop on a train before we will go into euphoria stage when the price will rise significantly. And as I told you in this video and previously in many videos on this channel, that the first half of this year will be very volatile due to the presidential cycle. And according to this chart, maybe it is the last chance to hop on a train and buy Apple stock on a decent price, because we made this healthy correction of 15%. We made a very healthy and strong bounce back over here. And right now, after this bounce, it is very solid and visible to us that right here we have this flag pattern, very beautiful flag pattern, suggesting us this small correction and the continuation of the prior move to the upside. So right now what we should wait for is to break out of this formation, retest this upper boundary, and then continuation. And for those of you who want to wait a little bit more to have further confirmations, every pullback that is still below the 180 resistance level, $180, I would be reckoning as a good signal and good potential moment to enter the market. On top of that, when we measure this whole retracement, let's see where we are. We already, as I told you, broke the 50% of this retracement, and we also broke 61.8. So it would be a perfect scenario when we would break out of this flag formation, retest the upper boundary of the flag formation, and then continue the rally. So from the technical point of view, I think this might be the ideal place to entry. And if we add all the fundamentals previously mentioned in this video or any other video that is already posted on this channel, I think we have a good scenario for the continuation of the upward movement. But remember also not to go all in the Apple stock, because that is not the way to do it. You need to diversify and add accordingly to your wallet capabilities. So that is all as for this video. Thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.